As Dinesh said, we've grown over 25 years, and we're proud to say today that across all the four sectors that we operate in Sri Lanka, we're the largest investment bank. We're also happy to be the fastest growing investment bank in Bangladesh, the second market that we operate in. But before I start talking about numbers and what we are doing, I think it's important to talk a little bit about who we are and what we stand for, because this is a key part of what and we think about this every day at Cal when we come into work. So the whole thing, we are a purpose-driven organization. We come with a deep belief in capital markets and the belief and the ability of these to unlock wealth and prosperity to the societies that we live and work in through these capital markets. Wealth is created, capital exists in the economy, wealth is created by being able to deploy that capital where it's needed. And capital markets are like the pipes or the highways that take this capital from where it exists to where it's needed. And we believe our purpose is to help grow the capital markets in the economies that we operate in. And we've also chosen to operate in a set of frontier economies for multiple reasons. One, because this is where the greatest need exists. These are predominantly what we call quote unquote poor countries with relatively less well developed capital markets infrastructure, and the greatest need exists. It's also what we know best. We've grown up in Sri Lanka. We understand this type of market environment, and we think we're good at creating differential return there. So that's our purpose, and that's what we stand for. And we are also very values driven. We are very clear on what our values are, and we are very clear on what we stand for. And this is something that Ajith set this company up 25 years ago, and I think he's also been very clear about this right from the start. Number one is integrity, articulated as never selling to a client what you would not sell to your own family. I don't think it needs any more clarity, because that is as clear as it gets. Number two is dynamism. You can call it innovation. It's never being happy with the status quo, always questioning what we do, and this is what creates so much of the innovation that we see Cal bringing to the table every day in terms of capital markets product creation. Then it's fairness. It's about the people. We are a people industry, of course, and it's fairness. It's about treating everybody well. We hire for attitude and we reward for performance. We don't care where you come from. It's about what you bring to the table. And finally, it's about teamwork. It's about institutionalizing capability. It's not about individual brilliance. It's about the collective genius that we're unlocking in our organization. So these four things, maybe it's not what you look at as a financial analyst, but it's important to talk about, I feel, at this kind of event, because this is what Cal is about. Then we'll get into the business. So we've spoken about what we do in Sri Lanka. We are touching nearly $3 billion of transactions every year. Nearly $3 billion of transactions flow through our different business value streams, and that's quite sizable for the type of market that we operate in. We manage over $800 million of assets. We are going, I think we'll close in on $1 billion this year. So that's also a certain level of scale. Again, that's quite good for the type of markets that we operate in. And I keep qualifying this, and that's what makes it so exciting, because for us, our market extends far beyond the shores of Sri Lanka. We've learned some really valuable lessons here. Sri Lanka is small, and our markets are small, and it's a small country, but our capital markets expertise and our history is long, and we have a lot of deep expertise in Sri Lanka relative to other frontier economies. And we are able to take the lessons that we've learned here, and we have found that it's internationally portable, internationally transferable, and scalable as a result. And that's what makes Cal a really interesting investment opportunity in my perspective, not in the next 6 months, but really over a 5-year 7-year horizon. And that's what gets me excited as I come into work every day. So that's a big part of this IPO. A lot of the capital that we hope to raise in the IPO will be channeled towards global expansion. really taking, sort of, we are $100 billion economy in Sri Lanka, and we've grown to a reasonable size in this economy. But we see a GDP footprint that is 10x what is available in Sri Lanka. And that gives you a sense of that more than 10x growth that we can have as Cal, by being able to establish ourselves in a much broader geographic footprint. So that, the next part of it, which is our three growth pillars. Again, very clear about how we are going to grow and what we want to grow in. So we're not going to be everything for everybody. We are very specific about what we do, but we're going to expand our market space. And we see expansion into other frontier markets as a key part of our growth strategy. The second part of it is retail. We operate in an industry that has historically serviced institutions and ultra high net worth individuals. And it's been an industry that historically has struggled to make its products available to ordinary citizens and retail investors. By using technology, we have been able to unlock a business model that allows us to bring really cutting edge investment banking solutions to retail investors. And I think that is a really exciting prospect. We now service 40,000 clients, and we do this, and a vast majority of this we do through a purely digital platform. Yeah, so we do it through a purely digital platform. And again, this is scalable both in Sri Lanka and it's globally scalable. So makes it a very exciting prospect. Finally, it's about product creation using our own balance sheet. Cal is in Sri Lanka unique for having a deep balance sheet for being in this sector of the industry. Yes, you have commercial banks in Sri Lanka that have very large balance sheets, but they tend to be very much in the borrowing and lending space. As an investment bank, we are able to be a lot more creative and a lot more innovative with the capital that we have. And we use that to create product and unlock the value in the capital markets. So you will be seeing a lot more innovation and a lot more product creation coming out of Cal. Again, as we deploy a part of the funds in this IPO into that product creation capability. So that's where that's how we are planning on using the funds. We are raising just under 1.6 billion rupees in this IPO. About half of that will be for our global expansion. Bulk of the rest will go towards the 375 and the 300 that you see. Really, that's balance sheet augmentation and using our balance sheet to deliver, to drive revenue. And then the final 150 million is into technology. We haven't mentioned on this deck, but Cal has 200 people, and about 40 of these people work in technology. They are in the tech space, either developers or development related work, and a lot of data analysts and a lot of data science that goes into this. So, and we will continue to invest heavily in that area. So just a little bit about our business verticals. We started our life, in the government security space. That remains a USP of Cal. I think we are the best in the business when it comes to understanding where interest rates are going and taking positions on it and helping our clients take the right positions on it. And we use that macro modeling capability to then drive value across all our businesses. We are in asset management. As I said, we are targeting to have $1 billion under management within this financial year. We do stock brokerage, equity trading, stock broking. Again, asset management, stock broking, and corporate finance are all across both Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. We are the second largest stockbroker in Sri Lanka. We are one of the in the top 10% of stockbrokers in Bangladesh. We are the second largest in Sri Lanka. We're in the top 10% of stockbrokers in Bangladesh. We're also the fastest growing stockbroker and the only international stockbroker in Bangladesh. And finally is corporate finance and advisory. I think over the last 4 or 5 years, we've been responsible for maybe the largest number of IPOs that have come to the market in Sri Lanka. We have a very strong corporate finance and advisory team, and we've been offering this as a service since 2003. So it's something that we have a deep expertise in. And yeah, lot of words here, but really I want to talk to you about what drives Cal's performance. And number one is data, it's insights, it's the differential value proposition value that we are able to create for our clients. And at Cal, we consume, digest, and utilize data in a way that I think few other companies in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh do. And then data is a key part of what drives our strategy. Second is product innovation. So as I've spoken about, we have a lot of structuring capability within the organization, and we are constantly creating new types of financial products that help unlock value in the capital markets. And then technology. The retail platform that our clients see is one part of this technology. We also have homegrown systems, core systems that have been developed, proprietary systems developed by Cal. And these systems again are internationally transferable. We can use them across the globe, and these systems give us the flexibility to be more agile than other players who are often relying on third-party systems that have often been developed in non-native markets. And then you're waiting for updates to happen in the frontier economies. Operating in economies like these, where rules change, policies change all the time, having our own systems that we have developed ourselves gives us a huge advantage. So I guess this is the key part of this whole IPO story, and something that we just wanted to put out there. We are in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. We serve 200 million people, not 20 but 200, between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. We are looking to enter Kenya, and Kenya as a gateway to East Africa, because Nairobi serves as a regional financial center for Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, to an extent Rwanda, in addition to Kenya. But just taking Kenya alone, we will be, when we set up there, 200, and we will be covering 250 million people, and a cumulative GDP of about $650 billion. And for sure, we are not going to stop there. So we are really looking at, we've already identified two other countries, frontier economies that fit the criteria that we're looking for, with which we can take this to $1 trillion total GDP that we will service, closer to 500 million plus people who we will be able to touch. So that's really the growth story. As I said, taking 10x from Sri Lanka's GDP and servicing 20x our population, and then all the opportunities that presents. Then the scalability and the ability to take cutting edge investment banking solutions to the retail market, being able to give ordinary citizens access to the same type of wealth management or brokerage services that ultra high net worth individuals enjoy, democratizing capital markets, and really making, improving access. With our digital platform, it doesn't matter whether you live in Colombo or Batiklo or Dhaka or Chittagong or Sylhet, or in the future, whether you are in Nairobi or Mombasa, you will be able to access these capital markets and access the best products and the best solutions out there in the market, just through your digital platform. And then it's about our people. I think you've seen all of this. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail. I'll pass it on to Udishan, who is our chief strategist, who will talk to you about the valuation and the numbers, and then we'll take some questions up.